Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to get straight into it. I'm going to do some sweater nails with no gel. This is a sweater nail set that I did with gels, but I wanted to show you that you don't have to use gels to do them. So today we're going to do 6 designs that need no gel polish. I mean, you can use gels if you would like to, but for those that can't use gel, don't want to use gel, you can do it without gel. So I went ahead and I used the color Vamp from 915 Aesthetics along with the liquids from Azure Beauty. Azure Beauty has a matte top coat. I know a couple of other companies have a dip matte top coat, but this is just the one that I had on hand because I prefer a gel matte top coat. But nonetheless, Azure Beauty makes one, so I used it and it works. So, I mean, just personal preference at this point. Um, Also, NAGAIA has a dip base coat that has a liner brush in it already. So that is the base coat with the liner brush that I will be using for the intricate sweater designs. I do know that you can find it's like an eyeliner applicator or an eyelash brush or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but I know you can find them on Shein. I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon. I've also used a regular liner brush and then just cleaned it with acetone at the end, which worked great. But that is how you're going to get the lines that you need with the dip base. I'm also going to show you 2 different ways to do the sugaring. I'm going to show you if there is a difference between using clear powder. That's my sugaring powder, which means I don't use it for solids. I don't use it for anything, so it stays clear. It's just for sugaring stuff, for sweater nails, just for that effect. I'm also going to pull out the powder color itself because you can use that as well instead of using clear. I also have a flexi boat to pour over the powder onto the design. And I just like to use that just because it works. So here's my little stuff that I wrote down. No gel. So dip liquids, stamping different ways, a water slide decal, and I do show the stickers. I don't use them because stickers are just super, super easy, very self-explanatory. I'm going to use them in my Christmas series coming up, but I do show everything else. I leave this all in real time for y'all so that you can see it in real time. Only thing that I did before this video was I went ahead and I did all of the nails with the dip powder because this video isn't really about the dip powder application itself as like the base. This is more so just the nail art. So we're going to get straight into the nail art. So what I did was I went ahead and I wiped the nail off with alcohol, with the isopropyl alcohol. I just have 74% in that container. Also, this little art round, it's called an art round. It goes with the press-on stand. It's a single press-on stand holder. This is from Liquid Layers. It really makes holding the nail stand that much easier, and you can spin it a lot easier instead of having to turn the whole stand. I just really love how thin it is. I've been using this for all of my nail art that I've been doing. I know some of you have seen my hand paintings and stuff like that. It just makes the nail art a lot easier to do, and holding on to those little tiny stands from Amazon just like made my fingers cramp. So yeah, they are releasing. Should already be released by the upload of this video, but we're going to go ahead and get into the nail art. So you see this is basically like a gel liner brush. It is so small and skinny. And this dip base doesn't dry super fast. They made the formula so it doesn't dry so fast so that you kind of have time to draw your design. You have time to get the powder on, and you have time to do a little bit of moving if the powder doesn't quite fall the way you want it to, like straighten up your lines as you'll see me do. But this is literally all that I'm doing. I'm doing the same exact thing that I would do with gel with this, like doing the same exact thing. Making sure my lines are even, making sure my lines are straight. And then I actually do it in sections just because I like to make sure that it gets fully done. So I could have drawn the straight lines, but I didn't want to risk the dip base drying. So now all I'm going to do before it fully dries is dump the clear powder over top. This one I'm going to do with the clear powder, and the one that I'm going to do next, I'm going to pour over the darker powder so that you guys can see if there is a difference. Now, sometimes there is a difference. So if I was to use white for like a white gel and then pour the color powder over, it would give you a different look, obviously, because the base color would not be the same. But I don't think there's much of a difference when you're using the dip base and you're pouring the clear or the color over it, but I'll let you guys decide. So now I'm just going to set that to the side. I'm going to let it dry because the dip base and the clear do need time to set. Otherwise, I'll just mess up the design. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the colored powder. I'm going to do the same design just so you guys can see it again. And again, this is in real time. The video is a little bit longer, but I did want to leave everything kind of in real time just so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And if you would like to follow along, or if you need it broken down like a little bit easier, I zoomed in, I left it in real time just because when I first started looking into all of this, I was seeing everybody go so fast and I just could not get the hang of it. So I had to like almost download a video and put it on slow-mo version so I could watch it because it was so fast. But I do know that doing this with dip base is something that I really just wanted to show because a lot of people are not wanting to use gels and gel polish, and there's a lot of allergies I've been seeing lately, and the UV light itself. But people still want to have like really cool designs, and I wanted to show y'all that it is possible to not use gel and still have really awesome nail designs. Like I know you can make a lot of awesome stuff with gel, but you can do a lot of stuff not with gel. And that's just really the point of this video, is just to show you how the fun designs can be made without gel. So I'm even going to throw in some non-gel stuff mixed in with different gel things for my Christmas series. And yeah, that's going to be really fun. I'm going to try to do 3 videos a week for Christmas starting December 1st. I'm going to try to do 3 videos a week in December. So I think there's like a bonus video or 2. So I think it's like something crazy like 13 videos or so just in that little bit of time. Maybe more, but I don't know. I have to just play it all by ear, but it's all going to be nail art related. All right. So here's the difference. I went ahead and I dipped the color in. I used the color powder, but I did the same thing that I did on the other nail. And with the clear, you want to make sure you're using a stiffer dusting brush just to dust off the clear, just so that you're not getting it cloudy or anything like that. So for me, that is one thing I did find to be a plus with the colored powder, is that you don't have any white specks or clear specks or anything like that. So that is something to keep in mind. But also with the liner brush, since the liquid is a lot thinner than gel, you just want to make sure that you don't have a bead of the dip base on the end of the brush, because it'll obviously make your line a little bit thicker than you're wanting. But it's just really about just taking your time. And I know straight lines are hard. I really just did that in one take. Like I was shocked that I got the line that straight. But also I chose to work with a square nail because I found that showing that would be a lot easier than doing it on an almond or a stiletto. You'd get a better shape reference versus for me doing it on a square nail. Um, but this is just for reference for you guys to see, just for tutorial purposes. I actually only practiced one time before doing this video with doing it with dip liquids, but I knew that I could do it because I've had that liner brush and I've done other designs with it. But I will leave this liner brush base liquid with the liner brush in it. I'll leave it linked in the description box. I do have a little bit of a discount code for you. I also think you can find it on Amazon, but I don't have an Amazon discount code link. But I'll leave it down in the description box for Amazon, or if you want to save a little bit of money and buy it from their website, I do have a discount code for them. Um, I think it's an affiliate link, so I think I make a small commission, but it doesn't charge you any more money. They charge you the same price. They just give me a little bit of the kickback off. I think it's like 10%. But if you want to buy it on Amazon, that's fine too. You can use my link, not use my link, whatever you want to do, just here to show you all the good things. I saw this liner brush. It's like viral on Instagram, on TikTok. So this is where the skinny dip base brush is that they're using, if you've ever wondered where it came from. All right. So these are the 2 designs. We're just going to set them to the side, let them dry off. When they get a little bit dry, you want to make sure that you activate them, because if you don't activate them, then they're not going to harden. Now, I was starting to do it just this way in the beginning, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to activate the whole nail because it can't hurt anything. So I ended up just spreading the activator on the whole nail, because you just did the dip base and then you did the color. So if you don't put the activator on, the dip base and the color or the clear is not going to harden. So it won't be able to withstand any kind of daily wear or anything like that. Like the design will just literally like rub off. Also, these aren't quite as textured as when you do them with gel, because I feel like the dip base doesn't allow the design to sit up so far off the nail. But here are the two that we did. I didn't do the dots or the lines or anything on the side because I just wanted to give you like the general idea of doing them and to show you that it can be done. You just got to take your time. That's all it takes. Time, patience, practice, all of those things, just to get the design exactly how you want it to be. Because I didn't get it perfect when I tried, and I was like very upset with that. So I tried again, and this doesn't look half bad. But I bet if I kept doing it, it would look better. But can't wait to show you guys more designs. I'm going to do snowflakes for my winter series and everything like that. But you'll have to let me know whether you think the clear or the color powder made a difference. I don't think it did, but it's up to you, however you want to do that. So next, we are going to be moving along to the next one, which is stamping. And yeah, like I said, everything will be linked in the description box. And if I forget something, just leave me a comment and I'll get you a link for it. All right. So I know a lot of places have different stamping plates for sweater nails. This happens to just be the one that I have. If you don't like the raised texture or you don't want to use gel, this will be an option for you. Now, you can also use stamping polish to paint the nail as well, which is what I did with this nail. I just used that blue stamping polish and I just painted the nail blue, and I'm going to stamp on top of it with the white. Also, Maniology does have a speed dry top coat, which is good for making doing reverse stamping, and a smudge free top coat. Both different options for whatever you want to do. I always suggest the smudge free top coat, even though I pick up the wrong one a little bit later, which like drives me bananas, but you'll see. And then the sticky base coat is good for applying the stamp to the nail. I don't use the sticky base coat to apply the stamp because I move pretty quickly. But I also did leave this in real time as well, because I wanted you guys to be able to do this, to have the stamping assistance, because I know some people struggle with stamping. And don't worry, I do zoom in a little bit so y'all can see. But I'm just getting my necessities together. I've got my plate, it's all cleaned off. I use a silicone mat. I cut a corner off of one of my old silicone mats, and I just use that when I'm doing stamping, especially for videos, because I don't like to get my base mat messed up, just because it's a lot of cleaning up. Stamping is so messy. So, got all my stuff handy. I've got my stamper, I've got my scraper, I've got my polish, I've got now my paper towel set up to the side where I wipe off my scraper with the excess polish. So, I'm just kind of getting everything set up because you do want to move kind of fast. So, when you put the polish on, I use a little bit too much probably, but I like to do that because it just works for me. And I just scrape once, maybe twice, but that is it. And then I roll the stamper the opposite way, and I usually get a pretty perfect pickup. It's generally pretty decent. Some days I have better stamping days than others. Today was a great day because I did not have to do any of them twice. But super quick sweater nail. If you're looking for a super easy sweater nail design, like boom, you're done. Like it's just that easy to do. And then I just set it off to the side and I just let it dry because we are good to go with that design. But there are a couple of other designs that you can do as well. Also, I do clean off my stamper with a lint roller, the same one I used to clean my table off. Yeah, so the main thing that is important when it comes to stamping is just making sure that you have everything ready and available and clean. So I also try to clean my plate off between stamps. I try to do it even if I don't use that spot for the next stamp. but I have gloves on, so I'm not going to use the little cotton grabber. But if you are doing your nails and you're not wearing gloves, since you're going to be using acetone and you're going to be cleaning it off, you'll wipe off or possibly could ruin what's on your nails. So the little cotton grabber thing is pretty good to use. Also, I clean my plates with 100% acetone just because that works the best, gets my plate the cleanest. So yeah, that's why I use that. Also, when doing this next design, I decided that I was going to show you how to do it just a little bit differently. So I do have a sticky stamping polish that I use for chroming, and I use it for using flakes. So I have these flakes. They're chameleon flakes. They're so pretty. But I have these flakes that I wanted to use on this dark nail because it would really, really pop. Yeah, I had to hold my breath when I opened this. This is one of those, if you breathe, they will fly everywhere. They're chameleon shifting flakes, and they're perfect for fall. They have all kinds of different color flakes if you just look around. These ones are from MadKin Beauty. I have all of the ones from there, and they are so pretty. With this sticky stamping polish and chroming or using flakes, you want to have an eyeshadow applicator brush, or in this case, I use a smudge brush just because it makes it like a little bit easier to pick up the flakes. For the chrome, I like to use the eyeshadow applicator. So for this one, you want to make sure that you use enough to cover the entire design so that when you do your swipe, you can pick up really well. I usually only do one swipe and then I roll the opposite direction, pick up the design, and you want to make sure that the design is completely filled out, like there are no missing patches in the design. And then you want to stamp it to the nail relatively quickly. And then, let's see, I counted to about maybe 3 or 5, and then I started just dabbing the flakes onto the nail. Like I just dab them. I'm not rubbing them yet. I'm not burnishing them in. I'm just dabbing them onto the black because I want them to stick. Now, with the base of the nail being matte, the flakes are not going to stick to them. So this is just going to stick to the part that is the sticky stamping polish. But if you wait too long, the sticky stamping polish is going to dry and you're not going to be able to get the flakes to stick. So after you have gotten the flakes to stick down on all of the areas of the black, I'd say count to about 3, and you should be good to start rubbing it in. I usually start with my finger if I have a gloved hand, just to kind of go in so that I don't get any oils on it, because you can wipe off the flakes as well. And then things are starting to look good. And then I just take my eyeshadow applicator brush to kind of rub everything in finally, to burnish everything in. Like, so everything will look really good. And that's how we're looking. They look shifty. They look pretty cool. I did this design last year during my Christmas series, and I thought it was really cool. And I'll probably do it again this year. I really love the look that you get with this. It's just something different, and I think it's just really cool. So that's one way that you can do another really neat sweater nail. Something just a little bit different. That's all. So this next design that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to chrome the stamp. So I used the color Fetch from 915. I just stayed using their powders for the base because I really like them. They have really good solids. I prefer to use like a solid when I'm doing a sweater nail, but you can literally use anything you want. You can use a solid, you can use a shimmer. I wouldn't suggest a glitter. But again, I use the Azure Beauty liquids and the matte top coat. So everything's matte top coated. I'm going to use this Mermaid Chrome from Sundara Nails. It is pink. It works fine. It looks a little clumpy, but I mean, it works fine. As you'll see, it does pretty good. So at the end, I'll kind of tell you where I messed up, but to explain the process, it's the same process. I made sure to clean off my stamper, and then I got everything ready, because with stamping, you just want to make sure that you're ready to go before you get the polish, before you go to put the polish on the plate and scrape and pick up your design. You just really want to make sure that you are really ready to pick up the design and you're ready with all your materials and your nail is ready and everything, because that's like one of the biggest problems is being flustered and not moving quite fast enough to get the design to pick up off the plate. I know that's a problem for a lot of people, and that's one of like the main problems. Another main problem is using the wrong type of polish. You literally cannot use gel polish to stamp with. You have to use stamping polish. That's what it's made for. So you will have the best luck with stamping if you use stamping polish. Now you can use nail polish probably, but you can get a cheap set on Amazon. I use Born Pretty stamping polish. I use Clear Jelly Stamper stamping polish. I haven't tried Uber Chic yet. Lots of different types of stamping polishes. I use Maniology stamping polish, but don't use regular polish. There are so many options available for stamping polish. Just use stamping polish. Save yourself the headache. That's all I'm going to say about the stamping thing. But I have another stamping video with layered stamping coming up later this week, so make sure you check out that upload. I've been doing 2 uploads a week. I've been trying to get into that because when my Christmas series comes, I'm going to do 3 uploads a week. Try to. Don't hold me to it. I'm going to try my best to do just upload more fun stuff for you guys to watch. All right. So stamping upload again with layered stamping later this week. So make sure you check it out. It is the next video after this one, if you watch this at a later date. All right. So we are all chromed. So I laid it down. I waited about 5 seconds or less. Don't wait any longer than that. I picked up the chrome with my little eyeshadow applicator and I just dabbed it on like I did the flakes just to cover all of the area. And then I burnished it in. Now, you can get 2 looks with this. Now, when I put the top coat on, I picked up the wrong one and I smudged it. So when I go back and do the nail, I don't make the base chrome. Like you can see the base of the nail chromed, like the whole nail picked up the chrome versus just the black, right? If you do not want that to happen, you need to buff the nail before you do the stamping. If you buff the nail under the stamping, then the chrome will not stick to anywhere but where you put that sticky stamping polish. So that's just if you want to do it that way. So now I'm just going to kind of put them off to the side, let them dry, let them do their thing because it has to dry before we can top coat it. So now we are 5 designs in. We only have one more design to do that I'm going to show you. And while those are drying, we're going to do the water slide decal. So I just put a white dip powder, is a white glow-in-the-dark sparkly dip powder on the nail. It's called Starlight. It's from Daisy Dips. I did the Azure Beauty liquids. And I did a shiny top coat because it doesn't matter with this one. You can even just activate it as well. But I like to put a top coat on when I'm using white because sometimes if I'm using a colored decal and I mess up, it leaves like residue on the white and then it just dulls it. So I put a top coat on already. Now I'm cutting out my decal to size. And while the decal is melting, or I don't know, did you ever put those water tattoos on you when you were little? This is basically what this is, a water tattoo for your nail. So you want to put it into the water until the backing gets fully, like shows that it's fully all covered in water, like there's no dark white spots on the back. Then you pick the nail out or pick the decal out of the water and you dry it off because you don't want it to be wet in the nail. You want to dry it off, but you want the backing to release. I apply my decals with a stamper. So I just slide off the backing, put the decal on the stamper, and it's ready to go. So now I want the decal to dry off some because I feel like they just work better when they're a little bit drier. Now we're ready to go. And also, that glow-in-the-dark white background is going to show through, and those snowflakes are going to glow in the dark. I don't show that in the video, and I apologize, but yeah. Use glow-in-the-dark colors underneath your decals and designs. It'll be super fun at night. Also, you can adhere your water slide with dip base. You can adhere your water slide with sticky base coat. You can use the Nailed It sticky base coat. That's from Nails in a Coffin. You can use gels to adhere your water slide. I choose to use my, lo and behold, trusty Maniology sticky base because to me, that's just what I've used. I've been using that forever. It's just the way that works for me. I like it. I like it for stamping. but I most like it for water slides because it just gives you that nice sticky base and it doesn't dry so fast that I'm like, have my decal will rip. That is a huge problem. That is a no. I get super irritated when my decals rip. But I just let it dry. You'll start to notice it dry. It probably takes about 15 seconds. I left everything here. Like y'all are seeing real time. So however many seconds it takes, probably like 15. I just clean up my station around a little bit. And then by that time, it's ready to be on there. Now, this is a wider nail. I generally don't put decals on my thumb. This is my widest nail, but decals fit on every one of my other nails. Occasionally, I found a couple of decals that are wide enough to fit my thumbnail, but as you see on the sides, it is just a little bit hanging, a little bit of excess nail hanging off. But I mean, it's not really a huge deal to me because I could, if I was actually wearing this, I would go in with some additional glitter. I'd go in with polish or something and just cover it up. But you want to press the decal down so that the wrinkles, that's what I'm trying to say, the wrinkles, you'll kind of push them out, but you want to be very gentle with it. You don't want to just go in there and pushing and pulling really hard because you'll rip the decal. So you want to be very ginger, press it down, press it around, and then I like to file off the excess. I saw somebody do this when I first started doing decals, and I was so just shocked and like, oh my gosh, I could never do that because I'll rip the decal. Just wait for the decal to get a little bit dried on the nail, and then the excess will file off very, very easy. Gives you a nice, clean, crisp look. So as you see now, I'm just kind of like pressing out the wrinkles. I just kind of go in with my file. I go in with the 100 side, not the 180, because it doesn't have enough grit to grab the excess decal. So I use the 100 side. After I'm all done, I use my favorite acetone brush. This is the only brush I use in my acetone because, as you see, it makes the bristles look like super wonky and makes them really hard. I don't like to use any other brush except this one. This is the acetone brush. And when this one goes haywire, I have a backup one that looks exactly like it. I only use this color, this brush. I think I get it from Shein. I have like 5 of them. I think they're like $1 or something. But I use this brush. It's an angled brush. It's really good for getting around the cuticle line, for melting decals, for cleaning up excess stamping, just for doing all the acetone things that you may need, for melting the tips to the nail. This is my acetone brush. I think I have one more, but it's a straight and I don't like that one. So melt the edges. It will melt the decal onto the nail. I personally like to use rubber base on top of the decal, but I don't. I just use dip base and I dip it in clear. And then I just activate it and it's good to go. That is a way to do it without using gels. Here are the stickers. I didn't want to waste any more of them doing another nail. This was my practice nail that I was doing that I just showed you. I didn't want to waste any more of these stickers because they're so cute and I want to use them on my nails. I didn't want to use them on the practice nails. But stickers are so easy. These are 5D stickers. So yeah, stickers, put them on, make a sweater nail pattern of your choice. Done. You can do that on top of a top coat. All right. Now we're going in and we're going to top coat these. We're going to, I picked up this speed dry because you can use the speed dry on when you just use regular stamping, right? But when you are using flakes, when you're using chrome, you can't use the speed dry because it will smear it, it will smudge it. Hence why smudge free top coat. When I looked at this nail and realized what was happening, I just was super just not happy with myself. I was just so irked because not only did I do it once, I did it twice because I did it on this nail too. This nail is when I started to actually realize what was happening. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. There's no way that I just did this in this video. And I was looking at it and I was like, what the heck is happening? Because it was wrinkling, and then I looked and I was like, it's smeared everywhere. The flakes are everywhere. And I was just like, I'm going to have to redo this. I am not leaving this like this. You see what happened? Everything freaking smeared. I was so irritated. So I picked up the wrong one. I should be using the smudge-free top coat. Smudge-free top coat. What's going to happen? Not going to get any smudges, like just happened right there. So I almost left this part completely out because I was like, no, I'm not going to show them that. But I ended up wiping off the nail with acetone, 100% acetone, and I redid my designs. Turned out the same, and I wanted to show you that I did buff the nail of this pink one before I did the chrome, and as you see, there's no chrome on the rest of the nail, just on the parts that are black, so that when you shift, it's like got the pink. So yeah, and now I'm going to use the smudge-free top coat, and y'all are about to see the difference immediately. Now you also want to make sure you float the coat. You're not dragging the brush over the design, which I didn't do that in the last one. It just was not a smudge-free top coat. So it doesn't work the same. And the design worked great. Nothing smeared, nothing smudged, everything worked great. You also want to give the design time to dry. I give mine an excessive amount of time. I'm talking like 10 minutes because I like to be excessive about the dry time because I don't like to smudge it, especially when I'm doing like stamping and it's intricate and I got a good pickup, or it's a really hard design that I've been working on, or reverse stamping. I try to just be very careful with that because all that work take an hour to do one stamp. But anyway, smudge-free top coat is amazing. That's what I would suggest using. I use this even if I am putting gel top coat on top because I use the smudge-free and then I'll do a gel base coat and then I'll do a gel top coat because this stuff is so good. And y'all see how that turned out? Like, just look at how pretty that is. Just using that, but you don't have to put a top coat on there. You could put a nail polish top coat on top of it, but I would say put something on top of the smudge-free top coat just because you want something on top of it. Don't just leave it because it might chip. So just do an extra top coat on top of that one. Hope that makes sense. Or use like a base and top, like nail polish top coat or something if you don't want to use any gels. All right. I went ahead and I also top coated this one in that as well, so you could see. I did the rubber base, but you can just do dip base, clear dip powder to encapsulate the decal, do any filing if necessary, then activate and then use a dip top coat on top, which I will show in a future video again. But here are my designs that I did. What do we think? Which one is your favorite one? Are you going to try any of them? Leave me a comment below. Leave me some thoughts. What your thoughts are. Do these look the same? Can you tell which one I used clear and which one I used color powder? I don't know. I could tell because I know what I did, but they look the same to me. The stamping ones, I thought they were super fun. Just a different take on something different. Still sweater nails, but not rough, no texture, no gel. So that could be for you. And then the good old decal, water slide decal. You want an intricate, awesome looking sweater design with like little to no work? Just use a decal. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I had a fun time making this video. The first one I did, deleted all of the footage because I hated all of them. This video actually turned out really, really good. And I like how they turned out. I would actually wear all of the designs. I'm going to do the flake ones. I'm going to have to do the flake ones and the chrome ones. I'm going to have to put those in another video. But I hope y'all enjoyed everything. I hope you guys stick around for my Christmas series. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.